And joining me now is CTV News political commentator and the former leader of the NDP, Tom Mulcair. Good morning to you, Tom. So
Hi,
let's
Marcia.
start with Marc Garneau, an inspiration to so many Canadians. What are your thoughts on his legacy?
Well, my first thoughts are for his wife, Pam, and their kids and the entire Garneau family. Tragic loss, totally unexpected, comes very quickly, and there was no time to think about it or prepare. I loved the profile that we just put together, and I would add that having worked with him, and we were opponents, we were across from each other, he was a gentleman's gentleman in the House of Commons. He gave the speech when I left politics. He gave the speech for and on behalf of the Liberals, and it was a very kind and warm speech. And that's the type of person Marc Garneau was. That's the way he played the game. He found humor in most situations. He had worked so hard, had a PhD, was an engineer, worked his way up the military before becoming the person selected amongst thousands who had applied to become Canada's first astronaut. He was chosen, and it was well deserved. Did a very good job as foreign affairs ministers, highly respected around the world. And he was not, of course, expecting to be unceremoniously left out of cabinet. And I guess that stayed with him. He also, this is less known in the rest of Canada, but he was the only voice in the Liberal Party at a senior level to express misgivings about the language policies of Justin Trudeau that were actually targeting and hurting the English-speaking community of Quebec. And so that million-strong community has a particular affection for his strength, his integrity, and his courage in standing up on a file where it's not very popular to express a divergent view, because, of course, you're just not supposed to pay attention to the language file, just let things go through. But the English-speaking community was being hurt and hard done by the policies of the Trudeau Liberals, and Garneau had the courage to speak up about it.
Yeah, may his memory be a blessing. Let's switch gears with the time we have left. I want to ask you about where things are in this country when it comes to dealing with the latest blow from President Trump's tariffs. We've got some premiers, mainly Doug Ford, saying we need to take retaliatory measures. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, saying, you know, we're going to let these negotiations play out. What do you make of it all, Tom?
Go back to last Friday when this was announced, and it's set me back a bit. I heard the reaction of Mélanie Joly, and I'm saying to myself, okay, either there are negotiations that are further ahead than they want to talk about, or they've been caught flat-footed on something that was entirely predictable. I still hold to the belief that Carney is keeping his powder dry because there are talks at the highest level, and he doesn't want to, you know, as a matter of knee-jerk reflex, be caught making a move right now that could upset that apple cart. And so let's hope that that's the case, because otherwise it's very difficult to understand why they've taken a week to react. Mr. Carney got elected on a promise to be very tough on the Americans on these illegal tariffs. It is worth noting that Mr. Carney spoke clearly about the fact that these tariffs are illegal, something, for example, that Dominic LeBlanc did not do when he was talking about this yesterday in Washington. You have to set that down as the precondition and the base understanding. We have an existing trade deal, the Canada-US-Mexico trade deal that Donald Trump boasted about having written and was an amazing, a big, beautiful deal. He signed it. And now, of course, he's disrespecting every clause of it on a daily basis. So these tariffs, these most recent ones, point to the inability to trust Donald Trump on anything. And if you can't trust him to respect the trade deal that he just wrote, how can you possibly start negotiating the next round of the trade deals? I mean, that's the conundrum for the people around Trump in the States. They're also starting to realize in the States, most consumers are, that these tariffs are going to hurt them. It's going to increase the cost of your pickup truck. It's going to increase the cost of a new washer and dryer, because all of the components, everything that goes into them is going to cost more. And that, of course, is just going to be passed along to consumers. The way Trump tries to sell it is that these are just a bunch of chumps around the world, countries that are just going to pay billions of dollars into the U.S. coffers. Actually, the chumps are American consumers. But that's complicated, and it's taking a while for that to sink through. On the Canadian front, Carney has an obligation of result. He said what he was going to do. He has to do it unless he can produce that trade deal that I still sense is what's actually going on right now. They are working very hard, and I do think that there is a certain amount of method to the apparent madness of doing nothing, the method being, let's get a deal, instead of having the instant satisfaction of saying, yeah, we're punching them back, and then not being able to get a deal after that.
Okay, a lot of people hoping you are right about that. Tom Mulcair, great to see you as always this Thursday morning.
All the best, Marcia. Take care.